Good Wednesday afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to come on here and do a thrifting haul that I just moments got back from. The weather's beautiful here. It's about 75 degrees, very comfortable. So I went out thrifting and picked up some really amazing things. So before you come into the chat, please hit the thumbs up, share this video, and subscribe. So I'm really glad that I went in there today because there was some really amazing things in there. Hey, Clint, welcome in, sweetie. And you just never know what this thrift shop has. I stop in, I bet you I'm in there sometimes 3 times a week. But I know that they do get a lot of items, and it always pays to go in there and check things out because they have amazing things in there. So, hey, Papa Jims, welcome in, sweetie. So, I just got in the door, used the restroom, had my daughter carry this stuff up here, and the rest is history. But like I said, when this consignment shop is my one-stop shop, everything that I sell comes from there. I do Goodwill every now and sometimes you're able to find some good prices, but if you want the good stuff, you got to learn where to shop and to stop in quite often because their inventory increases daily and they put a lot of things out, and you just never know what you're going to find. I hope you guys are having a good day. I decided, hey, Brian, welcome in. There's my glass guy right there. So, and it was really nice in there. There wasn't a lot of people in there, and it was pretty laid back. And I like it like that, and I just go in there and just give everything the once over. And I know what a quality item is. So I'm pretty good at picking those things out. But it's so good to see you guys. We got all men in the house. Hey, hey, hey. Good to see you guys. But like I said, whenever I'm in that area, I always stop in. And there's Maury. Welcome in, sweetheart. Good to see you. Because like I said, they sell a lot of things, a lot of new inventory comes out, and you just never know when you may find that special piece. And let me tell you, I found something pretty special. So there was it was a big soup tureen, and it was on a tray, fashioned just like the tureen. It had the original ladle. So I seen it, and it's about like that. And I seen it up there, and I picked it up, and I went right to the counter. And on the way to the counter, I looked underneath it, and it said Italy. So I just about skipped to the counter, and I was like, yes, yes, yes. And so all my stuff's been checked out. I always buy a lot of glass. They always pre-wrap it and have it ready for me when I get to the counter. And this thing was from Italy. It was beautiful, you guys. Then, of course, I already paid for everything. Took off the top of it, and I looked at it and I said, "Oh, do not tell me that that's what I think it is." So it had the very tiniest little spot on it, but I don't like to buy items like that. And they said 3 of the employees looked at it and they didn't see it. And I said, that's really a shame because it was beautiful, guys. And I was just about skipping to the counter with it because when I seen Italy, I knew I had a really nice piece, but it's a good thing I noticed that you couldn't see it when the lid was on the piece. But like I said, I prefer to sell things in perfect condition. I don't expect people to buy things that have those little imperfections, especially when that probably would have went up for a fair price, but it would have been up there. But glad to see you guys all in. There's Laura. Welcome in, sweetie. And yes, I've been at it again. Coming up them steps, my daughter helped me carry everything. And so, shall we get started? The first thing I'm going to start with, I found this brand new in the box. It's a tea set. It's brand new in the box. Springtime tea set, ceramic hand painted finish. Isn't that adorable? Brand new in the box, and what a score that was. And I was telling him, I said, I'm really amazed of how much stuff that comes through here. But as you can see, it's still, hey, Joanne, welcome in. It's still in the styrofoam. And that was another goodie that I picked up. And it's brand new in the box. And that's what it looks like. Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? Isn't that adorable? So there was that one. Laura, you might want to close your eyes, just saying. And when I saw it, I did think of you. So, isn't that gorgeous? And it's got a mark on it, made in, oh my goodness. It's got a number, made in RG. Let me do a quick Google shot. Isn't that beautiful? And yes, that is real fired gold on that. There's your spout. Perfect condition. And when I seen it, I thought about Laura. I really did. And I picked it up. I thought it was beautiful. Let me do a quick Google search. Thank you, Brian, on this to see what this is, because it's marked on the bottom, and I'll show it to you, but it's really vague on the bottom. I think we do have something special here. A lot of times when I'm at that consignment shop, I can be going to the counter and I'll spot something they just put out and I go right to it. Thank you, Joanne. Oh, this is gorgeous. Now, it does have one little paint issue, but for what it is, it's right there. But for what it is, you can't beat it. And we're just about to find out what it is. And I have a feeling that it's something really nice. I couldn't tell, like you seen, the bottom of it was a little faded and stuff. So we're getting ready to find out what this is exactly. So let me take a picture. They do say a picture's worth 1,000 words. We'll see what we have here. But I thought that was gorgeous. Look at that. It's even got feet on the bottom of it. So let's go and look and see where this is from, because I couldn't see it. It was too faded. Let's see. It is a vintage hand-painted porcelain watering can. Let me see if it's got a date on it. Let me go to that. It's porcelain, though, and it is beautiful. Made in Portugal, might I add. Let's see if we can get a little more specs on it here, guys. Made in Portugal. Let's see. 1441. So evidently these things are numbered, and let's see if it tells us. what year this is from. Portugal. And it's porcelain. That's amazing. I knew it was pretty special, but I did not realize. But the amount of gold that's on this, fire gold that is on this, is off the charts. I mean, they really covered that all the way around the handle, the spout. I mean, whoever did this, and this is numbered, it's made in Portugal. That's a score, and it's in perfect shape. Except for that one little spot. Hey, my Sal pal, I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, sweetie? That right, and it's not even a chip, really. It's just a little smear, but it is from Portugal. It is beautiful. And I'll tell you how big it is here. We might as well do this right. Where's my ruler? Oh, I got this. So this is approximately about, we're looking at about 6.5 inches tall, and it's gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful piece. But I would really love to know the year that's from, but knowing it's from Portugal is even better. So we will place her right over here. Alrighty then. I also thrifted this. This is a little bucket, and I thought it was really pretty. It's in relatively good shape. And so I did get that as well. Really good, no kind of rust or nothing in there. Just a beautiful little bucket. Okay, you Vera Bradley fans. The largest Vera Bradley that I ever found was a garment bag. And if I should have, there was two, I should have bought them, but that was like a year ago. Look at this. Vera Bradley duffel bag, might I add. Very vibrant colors. That is a duffel bag, and there's a lot of it. Joanne said she's closing her eyes, but this, guys, I'll give you a measurement on it, but as you can see, you could pack everything but the kitchen sink in this, and it does have here's the inside, and it is marked Vera Bradley right there. And people really, and it's got outer pockets on the outside of it right here. It's in excellent condition. As a matter of fact, it's got that one, but there's your Vera Bradley thing right there. So this is about the equivalent, I would say, of about maybe 2.5 Vera Bradley purses. But it is a duffel bag, and I'll give you a measurement while we're at it. I seen that they had a bin out there, and naturally I'm going through it. We're looking at 20 inches long, so this is not small, and this would be perfect. You could pack a lot in it. It's in really good shape. Man, you could get lost in there. So yes, we have a Vera Bradley, and I know that stuff sells really well. Gorgeous, vibrant colors, very beautiful. Vera Bradley. Like I said, the largest piece that I ever found was a garment bag, and there was two of them, and I should have bought both of them. So, okay, guys, do you recognize this sound? I have 12 of these, and they are crystal, right? And let me go back. This is special, guys. This was a killer find. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to tell you exactly what we have, because I did shoot a picture inside the store there. And they was on a cart, and I was like, I carried two at a time up to the counter, and they are beautiful. Yes, they are nice. And I'm going to tell you what it is. So here's what we have: Mishka Park Lane Champagne Sherbet. And I have 12 of them, guys. How cool is that? They are Mishka Park Lane Champagne Sherbet Rib Bowl and Stem Crystal. Now let me go take a look. And I have 12 of those, guys. 12. I like those even numbers, and I'll tell you. And they are dishwasher safe. Park, excellent. Okay. Park Lane, 1990 to 1999. Hand blown glass. Guys, this is worth some money. I'm just saying. Isn't that exquisite? Look at that. And I have 12 of them. Let it not be said that I don't do things in a big way, right? But they are from 1990 to 19 this it's even better than I just seen part of it, but hand blown glass. There's your bottom. There's that. It does. Okay, so oh my goodness. Let's see how many this person has, because I have 12 of them. Holy cats. You wouldn't believe what they want for one of them. Just one, and I have 12. So that's pretty amazing right there. And see, I only see listings for like one, and I got the granddaddy of them all. I got 12. How beautiful is that? I know I say holy cats all the time, but yeah, I guess you could drink champagne in it or whatever, and then put sherbet or whatever in that. How beautiful. I think I just fell into a gold mine, you guys. Like I said, I've got 12. And so I'm going to keep them all wrapped just like they are. And we're moving on. So, guys, this went, like I was saying in the beginning, they had this, it was from Italy. It was a big soup tureen, this big, with the plate underneath it and the ladle. It was, and I didn't, so I looked on the bottom, it said Italy, and I just about skipped to the counter. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life. When I had already paid and she was packing it up, and I looked at the rim, I said, oh my God, please don't tell me that's what I think it is. And it had the tiniest little chip on it. But guys, I wouldn't buy it because, I planned on making some pretty good money from that. And I just wouldn't do it. And they said 3 people looked at that in in the back, and they didn't see it. But when the lid was on it, you couldn't see it. Oh my God, it was the prettiest thing I'd ever seen. So I said, can I trade it out or do something? And they agreed because I buy a lot of stuff in there. They couldn't say, and plus I know the lady that's the boss. So anyway, usually, guys, I'm not into liquor bottles, but look at this. Mount Rushmore. Look at that. And it says it on the back, and it tells what was in it. Let's see if I can get it. And there's the bottom of it. And it's from 1960, J.W. Dant. And evidently it had bottled by the Dat Distillery Company, Louisville, Kentucky, Frankfort, Kentucky, Slinley, PA, and Fresno, California. Straight bourbon whiskey, 86 proof. Look at that mother of pearl sheen to that. Like I said, normally liquor. Hey, Austin, welcome in. Liquor bottles. I'm doing good, Austin. How about you, sweetie? Look at that. If that's not a collector's item, I don't know what would be. And like I said, that pops off. Mount Rushmore. You're welcome. And like I said, I'm not into something like that, but when you see something this amazing and it's from 1960, J.W. Dant, I couldn't pass it up. I didn't take this off, but that, isn't that something? How fancy is that? I bet that was, even back in the 60s, I bet that was high dollar just to get the decanter. It's beautiful. And it does have that iridescence to it, as you can see right there. Like I said, whiskey bottles aren't really my thing, but when I see something so incredibly unique, and it does need to be wiped up a little bit, I'm going to get it because you never know. I mean, we're talking about the Washington Mount Rushmore here. This is really a nice piece. I'm even going to leave the sticker on the back of it because it has a lot of information on it. It's just a really neat piece. So there's that. Next up, we have this amber colored Indiana glass piece. This is a big one. Amber color, grapes on the back of it. An amazing, amazing Indiana glass piece, probably from the 60s. Isn't that beautiful? It's in perfect condition, but it is Indiana glass in that amber color, really pretty. Oh yeah, Joanne, there'll be someone come along and see that. Probably back in the 60s to get that. That was probably a limited edition decanter, and it probably cost a lot of, well, back in the 60s, your dollar went a long way. But I bet that was expensive. I bet that was one of those back behind the counter on the shelf kind of items. So we have the Indiana glass. So y'all know what a sucker I am for pink. I haven't even Googled this. It's a sugar and creamer bowl. And man, is it heavy. I haven't even Googled this, so we're going to find out what this is together. But it has a pink cast to it, and I'll show it to you. Here is the creamer thing right there. Hey, Monica, welcome in. Thank you so much, Monica. Isn't that gorgeous? And I didn't even Google it. And if that wasn't enough, I've got the sugar bowl. I have the set. It does have like a light pink tinge to it. Really beautiful. Yes, Joanne, and they can. You get a collector of those, and man, they go wild. I'm going to go ahead and do a Google shot of this, you guys, so we can see. I have a feeling this has a lot of age on it. So let's take a picture of this and see what we have. Now, I know it's pretty old because I can just tell that it's probably an older piece by the way it's constructed. So here we go. Search image. Okay. I've got to get rid of some of this stuff on my phone before my phone runs away from home. Oh my goodness. It's imperial glass, is what it is. 212 Star and Fan Sugar and Creamer said it's imperial glass. And vintage imperial new cut sugar bowl. So it's very beautiful. Hey Simone, welcome in, sweetheart. And wow, I knew it was old. I don't know exactly the age, but isn't that beautiful? And as you can see, it does have a pink cast to it, which automatically attracted me to it. But it is beautiful and it's heavy. You know, you wouldn't think a piece like that would be that heavy. And here's the bottom of it. I don't know. I just have an eye for that glass. I can't help it. And Brian, your stuff went out today. I got to put your shipping information in because when I get consignment store on my brain, I forget everything. But I will send you your shipping number, sweetie. So moving on. So I don't know much about this piece neither, but I know it's old, and we're about to find out just how old this piece is. Look at that. That is amazing. You're welcome, Brian. It was on the couch, and I had full intentions of doing it, and I got sidetracked, but it did go out today. So I was able to get it within that 8. It was just a hair, maybe 3 marks off of the 8 uh, before the 18 inches, but we got it through there though at that good price. I thought we're going to make this work, but your stuff is safe. Here's the bottom. You know me, I'm always out there trying to, and I'm going to Google it because I'm not for sure. You're welcome, Brian. He said these women, when they get one thing on their mind, that's all they think about. So let's take a picture. Guilty. So let's see what we have here. Got a 1-track mind. Let's see. This is Federal Glass. It's a beaded sunflower Federal Glass. So vintage Columbia. Isn't that amazing? Wow. I don't know how old it is. Hold the phone, you guys. Oh my gosh. This must be extremely rare, but I would scratch that first comment. This is an Anchor Hawking crystal depression glass. Oh my God, you won't believe what they got that listed for. Talk about leaving a person breathless. Oh my gosh. This is worse than big, and I mean money. Okay. A rare and beautiful Anchor Hawking crystal vintage depression glass dinnerware. It's an oyster and pearl clear pattern. Let's see. It's produced from 1938 to 1940. in a pattern that simply is rarely found today. Oh my goodness. And it says the oyster shell shapes and the crystal pearls make up this pattern in great condition. So I normally don't do this, you guys, but I can't really resist. You know what they get? Well, you know what this is going? Now I didn't say it was sold. You know what this is listed for? $439.95. This little bitty thing right here. Can you believe that? Gee, I need to put it down there with my chihuahuas so they can guard it. My goodness. But it's depression glass. Yeah, Joanne, I just about, good thing I wasn't drinking water. I'd have probably spit it out. My goodness. I'd have probably shorted out the keyboard on this thing because I'd have probably. Isn't that something? I don't know, guys. I just have this. I don't know if you'd call it a sixth sense about things. And when I see something and I get that twitchy feeling, I know it's got to be good. But let's see, was that the last piece? And of course, I picked me up a hat. And see, I like the flower in the front, so I picked me up a hat too. Like I really needed another one, but I thought it was pretty. It's not marked, but I thought it was pretty nice. I like that flower in the front. But anyway, let me show Monica this. I picked these up, Monica. I don't know if you've seen them. This is crystal. And I've got 12 of them, and it's blown glass, and it's gorgeous. It's either a champagne or a sherbet or whatever. I like hats too, but isn't that amazing? And I looked at what one was selling for, and I'm like, man, I got 12 of them. You could put these in a row and play music on them. You'd be an instant sensation. But anyway, but I was so disappointed in that big soup tureen, and it was from Italy. And I was all giddy going to the counter, and when they took the lid off of it, is when I spotted that, and I said, well, I can't. And the price was amazing, but I would not sell something like that because I like the tag hanging like Minnie Pearl. Howdy. We should always say howdy. Oh, did you, Monica? I didn't know that. She said she sold Crystal Stewart at home parties. Wow. But like I said, this little thing right here, you get the right person and they'll eat that up. And I mean, this was probably a series that was kept behind. It was probably set up on a shelf, and because they didn't want it walking out. And you probably had to request to see it, and then they stood there right when you was looking at it. But that's a whiskey decanter, and that is Mount Rushmore. I was amazed with, hey, Random, hello again and welcome in. You caught us right at the end. It's good to see you. But I'm going to have to schedule another sale because, let's see, how far away are we from Labor Day? You know what? I'll be in there. I am very well. How are you, Random? I hope your day's going real nice. I've been out thrifting. So, guys, on Labor Day, I'm going in there and I'm going to try to have a smile on my face. Good, random. Because you know how they get on my nerves, but because that place will be full and there'll be deals to be had. And you know I'm going to be in there with the best of them. I ain't going to let a deal go by. But let me set this over here. But like I said, all these are wrapped up, and that's how they're going to stay. Because I wouldn't dare unwrap those at all. No way. And you may have someone that's having a wedding. 12 days. Oh my goodness. Have you heard of Princess House? Yeah, I think I have, Monica. They were a home party company. I'm looking for iced tea glasses from them. I know summer's really going by really fast, but I think these would be probably, this is fancy now. This is the upper crust, not the east side, that's for sure. But they are gorgeous. And I seen them on a cart, and I said, I'm going to save you from having to put these out. So I took them straight to the counter, and I said, mine, mine, mine. And there wasn't but just a few people in there. And unlike the on Labor Day when things are half price and you can stir them with a stick in there. But anyway, I kind of, if I'm in that area, I usually stop in there, or even if it's been a few days, I'll check back in because they do have a big turnover of items and there's new stuff all the time. And when opportunity's knocking, you don't want to be at you want to be at the front door, not the back one. But they do have. I told them, I said, I don't see how. And that's my one-stop shop. Everything you guys get comes from there. And I said, to see one or two things a little damaged doesn't surprise me, especially when they get so much in. I mean, with me they know they better start wrapping because they know that I'm probably going to bring some more stuff up. But you can't really resist. But I thought, well, I got Brian's package all wrapped up, and I got my husband took it to the post office, and I thought it was just that close to being over 18 inches, that close. I think the reason why it had that 10, I had to get something that would accommodate that big 10. And I thought, gee, I think I can pull this off. And we got that within that 18-inch variance, and boom. Hey, Ducky. Thank you, Ducky. I won something. Oh my goodness, I won my free giveaway. Please email me and let me know where to send your prize. Thanks again for joining in, and congratulations. Thank you, Ducky. That's amazing, and thank you for coming in. I forgot all about that. It's not real. What's not real, random? I know Ducky. I know that person. How do you know that, random? Are you sure about that? Because I know. Let me take a look here. Are you sure about that? Now, random, you need. I know Ducky. I know I've seen her. I know who she is. So does Brian. So it's not a hacker. We do know who she is. And thank you for being so protective, but I do know who that is. Yes, yes, ma'am, Miss Ducky, I do know you. So thank you so much. Linda in California, she's got a beautiful home. Her landscaping is so beautiful. And yes, Random, we know her. So thank you for being protective, but there's no reason to be because we know who she is, and I'm sure Monica does as well. So wow. Woohoo! I won the prize. Random, oh come on, it's clear. Random, she did have a giveaway. No, 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 Random. Let's be nice. That is a she, and she is not a hacker. Now, Random, let's be friendly. We don't want to call people hackers, especially if I tell you that she's not. Now, that's rude. Thank you, Joanne. Random, behave yourself. Remember the golden rule. You're supposed to be nice. And it's a lady, not a he. So let's be nice. Thank you, Brian. Now, if we tell you that it's not a hacker, we know who she is, then don't do that. Okay, Mr. Random. We know who Ducky is. Please do not keep saying that, okay? We know who she is, and that's really rude. Let's be nice. No more hacker comments, or I'm going to have Laura take care of business. We know who it is. Now behave. I appreciate your protecting stuff. Random. Now remember, I told you if you keep insisting on that, I'm going to have to put you in time or have Laura put you in timeout. This, don't be rude in the chat. Calling somebody a hacker is a serious accusation. Now behave. Okay, no more hacker talk. All right, I accept your apology. Don't do that anymore. That's not nice. I know Ducky, and she's really nice. And that's true. And Ducky, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just really protective of people. And when somebody, just behave, Random. You're welcome to come in, but just don't use that word haphazardly, okay? Because that hurts people's. It would hurt my feelings. So, Ducky, you're all good. Mwah. So we do know. I don't agree with people coming into a chat and being rude and insisting, especially after we told you that we know her. That's disrespectful. Let's watch our P's and Q's now. Be nice. So we'll get off the subject, but oh my goodness, Ducky, and you're at 500. Congratulations, sweetheart. So I am so glad that you have reached your 500. That's a lot to be proud of. It takes a lot of work and dedication, and you just have to keep pushing on. We all have those goals, and I'm very proud of you because I know that you work for it. You put those videos out there, and that's what it takes. Sometimes you have to put yourself out there to let people know who you are because that's really what they're looking for. But so anyway, I'm glad we got that straightened out because And Random, I wasn't really smacking your hand. I just wanted you to know. Thank you, Random. I appreciate that. To know that, it's a very serious accusation. And when, I just didn't. Very good, Random. I really appreciate your apology. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. No, Random Ducky is a very nice lady. I've watched several videos, and man, I talk about surprise. Oh my goodness, Ducky, how did you, what method did you use to uh, decide who the winner of your drawing was? Just out of curiosity. Thank you very much, Laura. So we're all in this thing called YouTube, and yes, you do get some questionable people, but wow, this is my lucky day finding this beautiful crystal and a piece that was worth over $400, man, and then winning something else. I feel like this is my lucky day. But you never know. I never know when I'm going to that consignment shop. If I get a wild hair, I just go ahead and check it out. Hey, Dana, welcome in. Welcome in, sweetheart. We've been going through all this glass again. Imagine me buying glass. But this is something that I have 12 of these, and they're hand blown crystal. And I have 12 of them. They're like a champagne thing, or you put sherbet in them. Really, really special. And I have a dozen. I'm kind of like this, you guys. I was born 2864, and I like even number things. So when I seen 12, I was like, score. I could just imagine that if you're having a fancy party or some kind of event, of maybe a celebration, a wedding shower. Brian said his screen turned black. That's what happened to me yesterday, and I thought that was it could be your internet connection, but these are so beautiful. Actually, if I was having something, I'd be afraid to put them out, afraid that somebody would break them and I'd cry. But I could line these up and have a symphony and do a live on YouTube playing these once I practiced. That is, but you know how they do water glasses? They put water in them and then they go over the top. These have their own unique sound. I'm not I'm not musically inclined, but I might be. You never know. But I thought those were just gorgeous, man, and they spared no attention to detail. Joanne said she did it. Maybe I can get some pointers. You can hear me? Good. Is your screen still dark, Brian? It's already the 21st. Where did August go? First thing, it's August the 1st, and then boom, it's the 21st. So, yeah, Brian, you may be having internet difficulties. I was had my live on Genuinely Gina, and boom, it was black, and then all of a sudden it came back. But sometimes that does happen, and it's very frustrating, but it does happen. It's good to see you guys out there coming in, and it was kind of a small haul, but I did have 12 of these, so it wasn't that small. Yeah, that's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, I should dress up in a real fancy outfit and put a tiara on and just do the whole thing. They're like, look at her. But those are beautiful. But anywho, but aren't you guys glad it's cooler outside? That we actually, it's like maybe 75 degrees here and it's really, really nice. And but that consignment shop, I have learned to man several boxes and open that door and get out of that door before it shuts and get to my car and get the stuff put away. But on the next playing the musical glasses, yeah. You never know. I may put a pair of gloves on up to here and feathers and who knows. They'll be coming on there just to hear how bad it might be. There you go, Brian. I know I really enjoy the fall of the year. It's such a beautiful time of the year. It would be, wouldn't it? What would be neat during Christmas time? I know I love fall. During Christmas time, I could play that song, the Nutcracker song. Make it short. Laura, don't tempt her. No, I probably would. Who, have them all lined up and cling, 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 cling. Or have a little wand and go like that. Brian said she probably would do it. I might. I might be guilty of that. But no matter how bad it might be, it would get a lot of views. Yeah, I better start practicing now. I better set them up. I don't want to come on and be terrible. But I guess I think December, about mid December, was my 1 year anniversary on YouTube. And I used to be petrified to do a video and I was nervous. And when you get nervous about something, you will mess up. If you tell yourself that, oh my God, what if this, what if that, you'll never do it. But if you just take a deep breath and say, you can do it, get on there and do it, no more excuses. And a lot of us at times we get kind of idle and then we need a reality check and say, look, you're capable of doing a lot of things, but you're not doing it. Get busy. And then you come on and bring the house down. But yes, I've got 459, and you got to work extra hard because YouTube will knock you down a peg or two. So you got to keep doing those lives and stuff like that. But I'm busier now than I ever was when I worked. I guess it's just you know you're always thinking of creative things and stuff like that. It's really fun. Brian Lloyd. I was thinking about. He's like, oh no, what's she gonna say? We're going to get you used to going live. So on my Genuinely Gina, you're going to come up there with me and you're going to be on the screen with me. He's going to get his video out so that you could get used to being in front of people. And remember, Brian, you said you'd like to come up again. So guess what? Ding, ding, ding. And I haven't picked out the title yet. But I think it'd be good for you. It will help you, because other people see these videos and I think it would help you. And sometimes we get nervous. That's what I like about Brian. He's yes, Gina, yes, ma'am, yes. No, I'm kidding. But I think it was what was my profession. I was a home health care provider. I wasn't a nurse, and that way, Brian, it gets you more comfortable with the process. And I know everyone. I got the jitters. I was scared to death. But once I got to doing it, I thought, gee, this is a lot of fun. So I haven't figured out the title yet, but Brian, you can come up with me on the channel. But back to Dana's, I took care of, I had mostly elderly, but I had one young person and I took care of them. I took them to events. I was their caregiver. You're welcome, Brian, sweetheart. I was their caregiver. I was their advocate. And I really enjoyed it. But the hardest part about being that was when someone passed away. Oh, okay. A nurse. And we can't have enough of good nurses. Yes, YouTube giveth, and yes, they will taketh away. But the hardest part for me, I enjoyed my job. I felt like I was contributing something that was really important. But when they passed away, I had to take at least 2 days off because it just killed me. It was when you're with someone, you get emotionally attached to them. And when they pass away, oh my God, I can't, it just kills you. But they didn't say, they said, Gina, I know you're upset and I concur, but we need you. Can you come back to work? And I said, well, I said, maybe getting that off of my mind and focusing it on something else will work. Who's next? But I really enjoyed it. I think that I was probably a blessing to a lot of people and vice versa because sometimes you form relationships with them and it's like they're yours but not in a controlling manner, but you take care of them, you look out for them, and it just and not everyone is cut out to be that because some people, and they had them in. I worked for Alternative Care Solutions and Kaiser's Home Support Services. And they get people that come in there, they'll sleep, they won't do absolutely nothing. And it's terrible. I couldn't be like that. Yes, it's Harner. Sometimes she works in surgical ICU. Yeah. But, I had a lady that her brother had a helper and all she did was sleep. And I'm like, I said, you tell your brother to contact the company. I said, my God, if there was a fire there, he'd have to slap her and wake her up to get her out of there when she's supposed to be the one watching out for him. Oh, yes, Monica, yes, we do the same. Hospice. Now, that's really hard. Now, here, hospice can come in. They're not just for end of life, they come in and help give baths and do things when a caregiver can't be there all the time. And but hospice, it's really sad because it's hard to get your emotions together because sometimes when you go in that these people are in their last stages of life, but you're making them more comfortable through that process, and it's heartbreaking, but it has to be done. Yeah, she was paid and I told her, I said, you tell your brother to get on that phone and tell them that she's sleeping and he was on oxygen. I said, my God, if there was a fire, he'd have to slap her around to wake her up. I said, that's not right. And I said, and see, in that profession, there's a shortage of caregivers. to start with, and then you get someone like that. I'm like, really? I said, you tell him to report that. I said, he deserves more than her. And it's just ridiculous. Yeah, you need the patience of a sloth. That's really true. And I was very protective of my clients. I had one that she had some very colorful relatives, and they knew when I was there they better cut their stuff out, or I would, and I had the authority to say, get out. And one time I pulled up to the apartment complex, and there was a bunch of them sitting on the porch, and they scattered like roaches because they knew if they was up to something and I caught them, I'd turn them in. And they just slithered off like a cockroach. They knew when I was there that I was watching, and they wasn't going to get away with nothing because that was my client and I had her best interest at heart. And if they was up to something, don't think I wouldn't call them out, because that's a human being and she was sick. Yes, there is palliative care also. But you know what? I felt like, yes, they did pass away, but I felt I was sad and happy all at the same time because I know that I made a difference in their life while they was still on earth, and they never had to worry about any. When I was there, they never had to worry about anything because I never caused any trouble, but I wouldn't run from it, and I would not tolerate. If she told me something, I confronted them, and I said, you do know I can report you, right? And I said, and don't think I won't. I said, that's your aunt or whatever. And you're going to, is when I'm here, and if I find out about it, I'm going to report you. So you better straighten up. Right. And I was very protective, and I went above and beyond. And I tell you what, if you ever see me and my eyes are real vibrant green, you done got in trouble. And when the finger goes up like that, but I did have quite the variety of people. I wouldn't want to stay alive if it was a life of, yes. I look at it like this. If I'm laying there in a hospital bed and the only thing that's keeping me alive is that machine, I wouldn't want to be, God is the boss. Just like I had one lady that she was on dialysis, and dialysis really messes with your system, and she was on her 6th year, and she told her family, she goes, you know what, guys, this is year number 6, and that you don't, they have to take that blood out and take out all the fluid and put it back into your body. And I was off that day, and she was talking to her son, and she just kind of threw the phone down, and they revived her twice, but the time that she was out done excessive brain damage, and she was alive. And she was over in a hospital in Louisville, Kentucky, and I went with her niece for support, and she had all that ran down her throat and hooked up to everything. And yeah, and I saw her, and she knew who I was right away because I could tell she knew who I was. And I went to see her on the second day, and before I left, I kissed her on the cheek. And the doctor said to her daughter, look, he said, your mother, would she want to be in a nursing home hooked up to all this the rest of her life? So she had to make a decision. And yeah, dialysis is really hard. And she had her taken off, but they had put oxygen on her. and she lived 2 days, because her body was just spent. And I was so glad that I was able to. I kissed her on the cheek and I left, and I knew that it wasn't going to be long. And her niece said, "Well, they've put her on oxygen. Do you want to be there?" And I said, "Hun," I said, "I can't. I'm so sorry. I can't do it. I cannot see that." I said, "I loved her to death and I care a lot about you, but I cannot do it. I just can't do it." But I think that the lady, even though her condition, she knew who I was. She knew who I was, and I knew that it. You can tell, but at least she knew that I loved her before I left that hospital. And it's like sometimes you just have to say goodbye and be at peace with it, because initially you really can't do anything about it, because He's in charge. And when it's time to go, one thing I definitely learned is that there are some horrible members out there to these clients, dignity and respect. I know. When I worked, I was busy all the time. I mean, I was doing something. I knew what they wanted me to do. Thank heavens for special caretakers that are there for us in our final days. Yes, I knew what these people wanted, and I stayed busy. I mean, I would eat my lunch and everything, and I would sit and I would talk. Here's what I did when I would first go in. I would sit there and talk with them to see how they are, find out, well, how'd your doctor's appointment go? And they would talk to me. I remember I had one lady, she was 80 something, and she had been to a doctor's appointment and she came back home. She was a little tiny little lady, sweet as she could be, and she laid her head on my chest right there and she cried. She goes, I'm so tired of these doctors and this medicine. And she laid her head right there and I just kind of held her real close. She was really sweet. And I said, "Don't worry, I'm here." And she was tough now. But it's those moments like that when you can be a beacon of light in someone's life, that those times are unmatched by anything. But she knew I loved her too. She knew it. And, sometimes it's hard to let go of people, but sometimes when God's in charge, and when it's time to go, this older lady, I remember going to her, everything else failed. Her kidneys was out and other functions. And I can still remember her, and she was in a hospital bed in the living room, and her children was there. And I could remember her laboring for breath. And she just had such a strong inclination to live. And, I think I left at about 11 o'clock that night. And she had fibromyalgia and a lot of things, and they had medicine for her to keep her comfortable, because she'd been in a lot of pain previous to this. And her daughter called, I think it was about maybe around 1 or 2 in the morning, and she said Mom's went on to heaven. And I said, "You know what? She's not in pain anymore. She's free from pain, and she's in heaven." It was hard to let go, but I knew where she went. I knew. And I said, "She's in no more pain." And she was tough now. She was a little tiny little lady. And I get attached to them. They get attached to me too. And they think of me as one of their children or whatever. But see, the problem comes in is when, the family wants you to take good care of them, but they don't want them to get close to you. And that's selfish. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped doing it, because I could tell there was jealousy, and I wasn't in there to take anyone's place. I was in there to take care of that person, to relieve the family's mind that that person was not alone, and I was very well capable of handling any situation because I'd done seen it and been through it all. But they get envious. I couldn't help it because that person they loved me, and I couldn't help it. Hey, R&R, welcome in. I couldn't help that because, and it was selfish on their end, just like going back to what Ducky was saying. The family members, I mean, I tell you, if my parents were living and I had someone that I could count on to take care of that person and was there no matter what, then I would be down on my knees praising that person, because you know how many sorry caregivers there are out there. Good to see you, R&R. R&R was painting last night. They were owls and they were shell, and I just happened to pop in about 2:30. I usually stay up until my husband gets home, but there's people out there, they don't want to do their job. They watch the clock constantly. They do not provide top-notch care. And buddy, I did it. You're welcome, R&R. The family never had to worry about them. I knew all their medications. I watched them like a hawk. And the other little lady I had, she had congestive heart failure, and I would look at her ankles, and she got to the point where she would show me her ankles because she knew that's what I was looking for. She goes, "See, they're not swollen." I said, "Good job." I said, because when they get swollen, you know that your heart doctor said you need 2 Lasix a day. I said, don't let it get like that, and then you have to go to the ER and have that fluid pulled off, because when they pull that fluid off, you get cramps in your legs and stuff. I know. Awful to have a bad caregiver. Yes, it would, Dana. As a matter of fact, the little lady that I was telling you about, life and death are such miracles. I'm so grateful for you sharing. My 76-year-old brother passed away from Alzheimer's, but last September, hospice allowed him to pass on to heaven in his home, which is good, Monica. But the lady that I was just telling you about that passed away, she had broken her shoulder, and her husband was 90 years old. And it just got to the point where I was afraid that he would be helping her with a bath and he'd fall and get hurt right along with her. So, I did talk about, her kids talked about it, and I said, let me just run it past her. And I said, her name was Margaret and his name was Harry. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm you guys' friends and I'm concerned about your well-being. I said, what if you would try to get Margaret out of the shower and you would fall? And she's hurt. I said, her shoulder is broken. I said, as your friend, I said, why don't you call hospice? I said, I'm sure one of your children will. It's not for the end of life. They will help you and make your life safer, that you don't have to worry about falling. And you know what? they agreed to it. And her children, if they told her, she would have thrown a cat fit. So she agreed to it, and I said, when you get better, just tell them to leave. But this will give you that extra help that you need right now. And I said, Harry's 90 years old. I said, what if he was getting you out of the tub and he fell and got hurt and stuff like that? And she agreed to it, and they came in. And guys, it's a good thing because her health really declined, and they was there. I mean, it's not. I don't think it was ironicy. I think it was God, because it wasn't long after that her health really declined, and hospice was right there to help her with her pain. She had fibromyalgia, and anyone that's ever had that knows how painful that is. And they would see. I think God doesn't make mistakes, and things do happen for a reason. My mom just passed from cancer June the 9th. Fortunately, I was able to be her hospice caregiver. It was 1,000 times harder than I thought it would be because it was my own mother. Oh, yeah. And Ducky, I know you miss her very much. And if you guys get a chance, go over to Ducky's channel and see some of the memorials she had for her mother. Oh, it is hard. And so many things go through your mind, and you're like, oh my God, is this? It's different when it's someone else. Got to go eat dinner. I emailed you earlier, Gina. Well, all right, Dana. We'll see you later. Thank you for coming in. But it is really hard when it's your mother. I mean, it would be incredibly hard when it was your mom. It would be. That's different. So, it's just really, it can be really sad. But look at that sun coming in. Can you see me? That sun is really blaring. I'm almost light. I've got light around me, guys. So, and that's the light coming in. Hang on just a second. All right. Oh my God, goodness, that didn't work. You guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go so you have your dinner or whatever. I can't control that light. I don't know. I blocked the window off, but as you can see, there's an aura around me, so to speak. But I'm going to let you guys go. It's been wonderful talking to you guys. Thank you, Monica. Talking to you guys. And for the life of me, well, I can't fix it. I hate it that it does that. I'm going to let you guys go. You have a very good day. And I'll catch you on the next video. I have no idea why that's doing that. But anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you the next round. And Brian, I'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you, Brian. Love you guys. And I will catch you later. Thank you so much for being here. Love you guys. See y'all later. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Let's see here.